Hello everyone, my name is Norvia and welcome back to my channel. I decided I wanted to start a series on my channel in which I flipped through all of my previous bullet journals. I started recording and posting my bullet journal and reading journal content at the beginning of this year in 2025. However, I've been bullet journaling ever since 2020, and so that means I have 5 other journals that I've never shown anybody and never posted anything online for. In today's video, I'm going to be flipping through my very first bullet journal, the one I did in 2020. I'll show you the themes and layouts I did in this journal, and I'll point out things that worked for me as well as things that didn't work so well for me. First off, this is the journal. This is from Lemome. I didn't really know what I was doing, so I didn't have anything from a big brand. I just found something on Amazon and went with it. Opening it up, the first page is this decorated spread. At the time when I started this journal, I didn't have a very big stationery collection, so I just wanted a space where I could show off a lot of it and show off some of my favorites. The next page is the index. This journal didn't come with any numbered pages or an index, so I had to put that in myself. I did each page number individually by hand. For the index, I first recorded my yearly spreads and then did my monthly spreads and marked what pages were included in each month. Flipping the page, I have my cover spread, just a big 2020, and a quote, "The beginning is the most important part of the work," by Plato. I liked the idea of having a spot to plan things in advance, so I put in a future log. Each month had a different color that was used to denote the events, and while I used this at the beginning, I didn't really refer back to it. Flipping the page, these 2 spreads were well meant, but didn't really work out in the long run. First is a places to visit page, and then a concerts I've been to page. I liked the idea of these, but there was definitely too many spaces involved for me to actually be able to check off in one year. Next is movies of 2020. I definitely watched more than these 3 movies in 2020, but as I said before, I had a bad habit of setting these up at the beginning of the year and then never returning to them. This is a favorites page that I've kept in every single journal so far, and this is my theme tracker. As I'm sure you can see right off the bat, November did not get a theme. However, this page makes it look like I finished a lot more of the journal than I did. August, October, and December are all halfway finished, even though I filled them in on this theme page. But I'll get into details of those later in the video. This was another page with good intentions behind it, but I just never returned to. The idea was for each month, I'd print out a photo of one of the most memorable or fun things I did that month, and then put it in its designated spot. However, at the time, I was in college, and I didn't have a printer, and none of my friends did, so I never actually got around to printing off the photos. Next is a semester schedule, and then a level 10 life. When I first started this, I really wanted to develop goals and reflect back on them and have action steps. However, I only evaluated myself at the beginning of the year. As the year went on, I never came back and reflected or looked back at these action steps or really did anything with this page. I have a blank page, and then we'll move on to my first theme. For January, I wanted to start off simple so that way I could do well and then build my confidence. So I chose a nighttime, mountain, forest kind of theme. I've always included a calendar, and I've always included a mood tracker and a habit tracker. Although you'll see, I did not keep up very well with these habits. Next, we'll move on to my weeklies, and as you can see, I use the same weekly for months at a time. Here was supposed to be a monthly playlist. I wrote out the names of the songs, and I was supposed to print off the covers to put in, but again, I never had a printer and never printed them off. For February, I picked a gemstone theme and mostly focused on pinks and purples for my color scheme. This is one of my favorite themes in this journal, which was a simplistic plant theme. This is probably my most favorite single page in the entire journal. I love how symmetric it all is and the amount of spacing. It just looks so pretty to me. For April, I decided to go with a cherry blossom theme. And this is when I switched up my weekly for the first time. For May, I wanted to try something different, so I decided to try watercolors. However, as you can see, that didn't work out too well. This journal had thin pages and was not meant for watercolor, so as you can see, there's a lot of bleed through of the ink, and it also made the pages really crinkly. You can really see on this page that there's a ton of bleed through, and it made it hard to actually read what I had written on the pages in some spaces. This is another one of my favorite themes. For June, I decided to go with jellyfish. And here you can see I switched back to my first weekly that I tried, and this time only took out a box so that there was more space for decoration. For July, I went with a koi fish theme. Here I wanted to do a bit of a reset, so I have my next schedule and a mental health and self-care page. Again, this was a good idea, but once I set it up, I never returned to it. You can see nothing is filled in, and nothing was filled in here. This is the first month in this journal that was halfway set up. As I said before, this was in 2020, and this was starting to get into the second half of the year, so things were starting to get a little crazy. I was a little busy, and also my mental health was declining a little bit. I chose to go with a very simplistic leaf theme, and as you'll see, I have everything filled in here. However, you can really see it in the habit tracker. I was only able to get 2 weeklies filled out. September is my absolute most favorite theme in this journal. I love how I did the calligraphy and lettering for September with the ombre effect and the white gel pen over top, and I love how it fit in with the space theme. This was just so pretty, so bright, and it was really fun to do. This is another theme that is only halfway done. You can see I even left the pencil marks on here. For this month, I got really overwhelmed with doing the decoration, and so I actually never filled in any of the functional parts. The idea for this month was to have the decoration based on classical artwork, like the Mona Lisa, the Lady with the Ermine, and Starry Night. However, I found that this was a bit too complicated and a bit overwhelming for me at the time, so I only did part of the decoration and never finished. Also, as you can see, we went right from October into December. As I showed you earlier in the theme tracker, November did not get filled in for this. And as you'll see for December, there is no decoration here. No decoration here. For some reason, for the mood tracker, I decided to go with flowers, even though I was living in Michigan at the time. Flowers did not fit in with the season or the mood at all. I guess I just thought that they were easy to do. And then as you can see on the weeklies, this also doesn't have any decoration. I just decided to use red and green as the colors since it was related to Christmas. I also had a spot set up for a reflection at the end. I did a really pretty title, I decorated it nicely, and never did it. And then at the end of the journal, there's 3 pages left over, so I decided to use this spot as a place to plan for my next bullet journal. There's more planning here, and then a swatch page at the end. There is something in the pocket. Here's me practicing some lettering. There's also some pen swatches. Some of these papers were used to help plan themes in advance. Here's my April cherry blossom theme and my koi fish theme for June. Overall, I can really see how my style has changed from when I first started into what I'm doing now. When I first used my bullet journal, I was using it very minimally, and it was kind of a source of stress for me. It was something I had to do, and I had to keep up with it. But now I can see it's really turned into a source of creativity for me. I use it for tracking a lot more things, and it's something that I really enjoy using. Thank you for watching all the way to the end of this video. If you like this video, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment down below. That'll really help me with the YouTube algorithm. I also hope that you'll stick with me for the rest of the series and the rest of my content that I post here. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.